Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Randy Park.
Who wants to know what their future holds? Gaze into my crystal ball, and the future will be revealed. A day, a year, a decade from now. Science, finance, romance. The crystal ball knows all. I don't get that you're buying this. I bet you don't think I can predict the future. You know what? I'm with you. I don't think anyone can predict the future. At least not in the crystal ball sense of predicting the future. Doesn't mean we don't try. Try and figure out what's going to happen. Why, you may be wondering right now, what's going to happen in the next hour if he starts like this? How much of your life do you spend thinking about the future, planning for the future, trying to figure out what's going to happen in the future? In technology, it's key. We need to know, we need to look ahead and see what are the technology developments going to be that are affecting our industry. And yet, in so many important areas, if you think about it for a few seconds, you recognize there's no way we can predict the future. There's too many variables. I'm here to provide you with some approaches to help you prepare for the future, for some of the new frontiers that you're going to be facing. I don't call myself a futurist. I was talking with somebody about this last night. Because, as I say, I don't try and predict the future, but I think I can help you with strategies to prepare for the future. Because no one can predict the future. And so the best we can do, and let me say, this is far better than most people in most organizations, the best we can do is look ahead, look at some alternative views of the future, and then prepare as best we can. And then the next step, and here's a critical step, is to monitor as we go into the future. How are things progressing? Are they going the way that we figured they were going to go? Now, when we look to the future, decisions, right? There's this interplay between the uncertainty, the decisions we make, the risk we face, and the future. So in order to look at how we can better make decisions for the future, we need to start by looking at how we make decisions in the first place. So I'm going to get you to do some thinking today, but I'm going to start off with some easy things. Here's some decisions I'd like you to think about. First one is, which is bigger, 1 or 10? This is not a trick question. So which is bigger, 1 or 10? 10. Okay, that one's pretty easy. All right. How about this one then? Which is better, a dog or an orange? Now, it's kind of a weird decision, right? You're going, well, you need to tell me a little bit more. Like, for example, if there's a burglar standing in front of you, you probably want the dog. Beating him over the head with the orange is not going to be that helpful. Contrast that with being stranded on a desert island. The orange is probably what you want. Unless, no, let's not go down it. So to decide between those two, you need more information. Here's the third one. Which is better, a picnic or a lottery ticket? Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, is it a winning lottery ticket? So in this case, the decision is harder because of the uncertainty involved. So when we're making decisions, in difficult decisions, sometimes they're difficult because we don't have enough information. Sometimes they're difficult because of the uncertainty. And sometimes difficult decisions are tough because the consequences could be pretty big. Occasionally, they're difficult because we've got two great alternatives. You know that old song, Did You Ever Have to Make Up Your Mind? Right? A friend of mine, his daughter had 2 great job offers. Those are the types of decisions we like to have to make. Those were fairly straightforward decisions. I mean, like I said, sometimes you wanted more information. And yet, you looked at the situation, you analyzed what was in front of you, and you made your decision. There's another aspect of decision making we need to look at, though, and that is related to how our brains work. So, I'm going to put something up here. I haven't put it up yet in case you're going, what do I see? I don't know. I just see a bunch of blue. I'm going to put up a graphic in just a second. What I'd like you to do is think about the first thing you see when this comes up. Ready? What's the first thing you see? So what is it? What's the first thing you see? Triangle. Most people see a triangle. A few people see a Pac-Man, but I think that's a generational thing. Now, is there any object there on that screen in the shape of a triangle? No. Thank you. Sometimes people try and argue with me and say, yes, there is. Now, there isn't a triangle, but there certainly is the suggestion of a triangle. And ever since we've been little kids, we've been taught something with three sides is a triangle. So we see triangles everywhere, even when they're not there. Now we jump to conclusions, and this is the other part of our brain function. This automatic recognizing something and seeing it there, which happens very quickly. Our brain is very good at filling in blanks like that. Now, here's the other thing about this, is that we like to be right. I mean, we all like to be right. So that when we see something like this, and at first we think there's a triangle, and then we realize there isn't really a triangle, then we call it an optical illusion. But really, there is no optical illusion there. I mean, it's very clear what is actually there. What happens is it demonstrates the two different parts of that functioning of your brain. The automatic quick thinking part that recognizes something based on your past, and then the logical part where you actually review everything and say, no, actually there isn't a triangle. So where does this automatic part come from? Let's look at that in a little bit more detail. So at your tables, there are two things. One, there's a green handout which has a lot of blanks on that you can fill in if you like. If you're a note taker, this will be handy for you. There's a lot of blanks because that's another technique designed to get you to think. If you write things down, the information has to go through your brain. The other thing that's at your table is there are some pairs of glasses. Please pick up a pair of glasses, either red or blue. Now, I know a lot of people think these are 3D glasses. They're not actually 3D glasses. But if you put those on, I'll show you what these are for. If you look at this slide through your glasses, you'll see if you have red glasses, you'll see the word red, you won't see the word blue. And the other colors will be dimmed or distorted. If you have blue glasses, you'll see the word blue, you won't see the word red. And again, the other colors will be dimmed or distorted. I sometimes thought I should put the word red and blue and the word blue and red and really mess with your minds. But okay, so you take those off for a minute, and let's take a little bit deeper look at thinking. What is thinking? Most people have heard of thinking, even if they don't actually do it all that often or all that well. So if you were to stop someone on the street and say, what's thinking? I think most people would come up with a definition that looks something like this. Thinking is taking in information, processing that information, and reaching some sort of decisions or solutions. That's the thinking process. And then from that, we generally take some action. We communicate with someone, or we develop a new product. Those are the results of our thinking. That's a nice simple picture, but there's a key piece missing, and some of you may have figured this out already. What's missing is our filter, because before the information gets to the conscious, logical processing part of our brain, it hits this filter that does some of the automatic thinking for us. Now, let me show you why these filters are absolutely essential. Is this what your day looks like? Right? We live in the information age, which means we get information overloads. We're bombarded with information. Statistics show we get 2,379 advertising messages every day. Of course, the same statistics show that 63% of statistics are made up. But you know what I mean, right? We are bombarded with information. And yet, when you put your glasses on and look at this slide, the picture becomes very clear. It's really easy to make things out. See, a lot of that extraneous noise, that extraneous information is blocked out. And that's what the filters in our brains do for us.